Hi, welcome to the channel. You're joining me on a very windy, very cold and quite snowy hill in the Brecon Beacons. It's Cadwfar, it's 485 metres, and I'm here wearing my kindly donated heated jacket by a company whose name I can't pronounce, so I'll pop it up on screen now. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce it. They sent me this jacket quite a long time ago, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. You would have seen in a lot of videos I've been wearing this jacket, so I've worn it on pretty much all of my walks. I've worn it to work every day, so I wanted to give it a good test in different conditions, of which this is one of the final tests. So in the Brecon Beacons National Park, it's about -2 with a wind chill of probably -6, maybe even slightly more. It's absolutely freezing up here, and I'm just wearing this jacket and a thermal base layer. I'm not wearing any kind of mid layer or anything like that, and I'm perfectly warm. So this video, I'll take you through a few of the specs. I'll take you through me wearing it in different locations with different kind of clothing in different conditions, and I'll give you my basic thoughts on it when it's out and about. But yeah, so far really impressed. The only downside to like a heated jacket like this is obviously the weight of the battery charger, which is located here. So it's a 12 volt USB chargeable little battery bank, and the fact that it doesn't fold down like a down jacket would. So whether you wanted to use it all the time for mountain use, if you're going to up and down layers all the time, it's not the ideal jacket for that, because it's going to be slightly heavier and it's not going to fold down as well. It's like a down jacket. If you're walking up a mountain, you're getting hot, you can take it off, pack it down, chuck it in your bag. This, yeah, you can chuck it in your bag, but it's not going to fold down the same. It's going to weigh a lot more. So I think it's a really, really good jacket if you know the conditions are going to be cold enough. So you know you're not going to need to take it off and delayer. Likewise, if you're just doing like local walks, or you're doing quite flat walks where you're not going to get that really hot sweat of a scent, then I think it's great for that. So I've worn it a lot on my hill walks where there's not been much scent, and I've been to keep it on the whole time and not overheat, which is really important. The other important thing is can it maintain heat without being on? So it is a soft style jacket, doesn't have the kind of insulation of a down jacket. So I think if it's really cold, you are going to need to use the function to heat the jacket a bit more, particularly if you're not moving. Whereas I think a down jacket would maintain a lot more heat passively than this jacket would. But you know, it offers very different things. If you're really cold in the tent and you've got the option to actually warm yourself up by switching this jacket on, that's a bit different to popping a down jacket on and trying to get that jacket up to warmth. So it definitely has disadvantages and advantages. So yeah, we'll switch to me in slightly nicer conditions, because I don't know if any of this is actually going to be usable because it's so windy up here. But I'm going to drop down off this hill now and continue with my walk. In terms of where the heated pads actually are, there are 5 heated pads in this jacket. So 2 at the front, 1 in each arm, and then 1 in the back. So they do heat up really quickly, and they do try to give you that overall body warmth by having those in different areas. The jacket does warm up very quickly, so I tend to put it on its highest setting, warm up within maybe a minute, and then I drop it down to the medium or lowest setting just to keep it ticking along. So I think as long as you do that with the battery, it is going to last you quite a long time. So I've also used it in the car, so if I'm getting in the car and it's cold in the morning, or it's cold at the end of the day at work, I do pop it on in the car. And sometimes I have left it on for most of the journey just to sort of bathe in the luxurious warmth. In terms of warmth as a passive jacket, so today I've not got the battery on at all. It is pretty cold. We're under a bit of a cloud inversion here, so the valleys are very cold. Sunlight's not breaking through. And the jacket, it's warm enough, but if you gave me a choice between this and a down jacket, I'd choose a down jacket all day in terms of passive warmth. But obviously your down jacket's not going to be waterproof, and it's not going to have the option of being heated. So just bear that in mind, that there are limitations with down jackets as well. But on a cold, crisp day like today, if I wasn't going to go for the active heating, I'd definitely choose the down jacket. My personal preference is for much lighter weight layers, so I'd go with that all day. But having said that, I'm perfectly warm walking around in this jacket now, and I'll probably need to unzip it a bit in a minute because I'm going to get too warm. In terms of how long the battery lasts on this jacket, if you're using it at its highest setting, the battery should last between 3.5 to 4 hours. If you're using it on its medium setting, it should last 5 to 6 hours. And if you're using it at its very lowest setting, it should last 9 to 10 hours. So if you were trapped in a tent for a long period of time, you should get around 9 hours out of it at its lowest setting. And again, it does heat up really quickly. So if you heat it up nice and quickly using the highest setting, drop it down to lowest, it will last a long time. And obviously it's just a standard USB chargeable battery bank as well. So you can take a separate battery bank and then keep charging at the same time. You can also get a 12-volt car adapter, so you can plug the jacket straight into your car. So if you're ever stuck in a car for a long time, if you're stuck in snow or something, you can plug it into your 12-volt charger and warm the jacket that way. Could be a better way than having your engine running all the time, I guess. In terms of real life battery use, the battery's run out on me today. I've been wearing it on and off for a week and a half now. So I've worn it every day to work, I've worn it on the weekends, I've worn it on a few little walks and stuff, so I've used the battery quite a lot. So I would say a week and a half, and general usage like I've done, is really impressive. I certainly think if you were topping up the charge in between and you were always walking out with a full battery, I can't imagine you'd ever end up in a situation, unless you were out trapped somewhere overnight, where you'd actually run the battery down. So I think for that, it's really, really decent. On a decent walk with a jacket today. Nice little 12-litre backpack on. Temperature's about 4 or 5 degrees. Quite a good wind chill factor. I've been absolutely fine in the jacket. I haven't been too hot actually. It's regulated temperature pretty well, just using the front zip. So I did pop the heated jacket on when I first got out of the car. Obviously before your body warms up and stuff. Just took the edge off of it. And I switched it off shortly afterwards, and I've been absolutely comfortable in it since. So obviously I've talked before about how much I like my lightweight jackets. This soft shell is a little bit heavier, but it's been absolutely fine, to be honest. I'm starting to get used to the slightly heavier weight of the jacket, and obviously the battery as well. No, it's performed really well. About 2 miles in now. Not masses of elevation, but it's been a nice ridgeway walk. I parked fairly high up. Yeah, jacket so far so good. One feature of the jacket I've not talked about, and I wasn't sure I was going to see much use out of them when I first got the jacket, is the pockets on the arm. So there's 2 pockets on this arm and there's 1 pocket on this arm. And the reason that one's open is actually I do use these pockets all the time. So I've recently been doing a series of hill walking videos. I'm just taking a very light 12-litre backpack. I'm just taking my GoPro and my action camera. And so what I found is actually I can put a wireless mic in here and my headphone case and stuff. So they're accessible if I need to switch out mics or I want to listen to my earphones. And then in the top pocket, there's plenty of room there for all of my spare batteries and stuff. And then this pocket I can put other little bits and pieces as well and stuff. So I've actually found it incredibly useful to be able to just switch out batteries without having to go to my backpack. I can just literally whip out a battery and swap it. So I do really like these pockets. It makes it quite a versatile jacket because you've got 2 decent big hand pockets for your phone and your hands and stuff. But you've also got these little ones which can fit a small torch, or like I said, spare batteries, earphones, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's actually a feature I didn't think I was going to use when I first got the jacket. But now on these particular hill walks, I'm using it all the time.
The only thing I've not covered about the jacket so far is the actual weight of the jacket and the weight of the battery. So the jacket itself weighs just over 1.1 kilos. And the battery, that's the size of it, quite chunky, but not too big, weighs 268 grams. So all in, this coat weighs about 1.368 kilograms, which is quite a lot. I've got a down jacket that weighs just 215 grams. The packs weigh really small that I always take as an emergency layer on a hike. So comparing that to nearly 1.4 kilos, obviously a huge difference. But as an active jacket, it is a completely different beast. Obviously it's got completely different properties to a really lightweight down jacket as well. It's got more pockets, it's got more waterproof ability. It's a completely different beast. So it's perhaps not fair to compare the two, but obviously there are two, those are the 2 extremes of the things that you can get. So in terms of the battery bank itself, there it is, nice and simple. You've got a DC plug which goes into the jacket, and you've got a USB charger, and you've got a little button there which you can press, and it will tell you how much battery life you've got left. So it's currently fully charged on 100%. So before you can use the jacket, you've obviously got to put the battery in. And it's worth mentioning that when you leave the battery in, say like overnight or something, then you kind of put the jacket back on, it's not going to come on when you press the button. So you've actually got to just reach inside the pocket and press a little button which tells you how much battery life is left, and that then triggers the jacket to come on. So there's a little wire in the little left-hand inner pocket. So you just plug that in, and once you plug that in, the light will come on the jacket to show you that it's in and working fine. You can just tuck that away, zip it up, and there you go. So I haven't actually covered how you turn the jacket on. So you just hold this button for about 3 seconds, and it'll come on red, which is the highest setting. It will automatically drop itself off of red to medium and lower as time goes by, but you can just tap it once to go into medium, and tap it again to go on to low. So obviously what you will notice, if the jacket is on, this LED or this light is on as well. So you are going to be quite visible. If it's reasonably dark or completely dark, you will be extremely visible with this light on. So I don't know if that's going to be a deal breaker for you or not. It is just something that's worth mentioning. I don't think you can have the heating mode on without it being quite visible that you've got a heated jacket, or you've got a jacket with a light up logo. So there we are. That's all there is to it. So if you are putting it on after, say, an overnight period, it won't come on from pressing this button. You've got to reach inside and just tap the little button on the battery itself. That'll reactivate it, and it'll come on then. I guess there might be a fail-safe to make sure it doesn't switch on accidentally and drain the battery down.
Hopefully I've covered everything you need to know about the jacket. If I've missed anything, drop a comment, ask a question, and I'll absolutely get back to you. Question is, would I buy one with my own money? Well, it's not something I've ever really thought about before, to be honest, but I am finding I'm getting increasingly colder as I get older. So I'm 41 now, so I do find myself really quite cold at times. And I've got a variety of different jackets now. This is the first time I've ever tried a heated one. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I think for the money, yeah, it's not cheap. Absolutely, it's not cheap. But you are getting quite a good functional jacket for the money. You just got to decide whether it's worth it going the route of a heated jacket as opposed to a passive jacket. So it really depends what kind of walking you want to do, or if you're in the lucky enough position to be able to have a variety of jackets for different purposes. So if you go for walking lunch break like I do, it's absolutely ideal for that, because you can just wear a work shirt, pop the jacket on, flick on the heated switch, and you can walk and stay warm without needing to sort of go too crazy, start running or anything to get warmed up. So it's ideal for that. If you're someone who has kids, you maybe like play rugby or football, and you're down watching them play in all sorts of conditions, then it's an ideal jacket for that as well, because the charge will last enough to see you through a 90-minute game. So it really depends on your usage, really. But I think it feels like a really good quality jacket. So I've worn it for about 6 weeks, almost continuously now, and we've had obviously this extremely cold spell in the UK, which has been absolutely ideal to test it in. Today it's had a bit of rain, sleet and snow. It's not let me down in the rain I've taken out in so far, but I've not obviously given it an absolutely proper rain test. But I would always advise, if you're going to do that, to wear a proper waterproof shell over the top, because almost all kind of soft shells and jackets are never going to be as waterproof as a proper waterproof layer. So chances are you've already got one of those anyway, just pop it over the top. Anyway, huge thanks for watching the video. Any questions at all, let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.